Hello everyone, welcome back. In this session, we are going to be talking about engineers and managers, the relationship between engineers and managers. And this is the second part of the first session, professional responsibilities of the engineer. So let's think about the relationship between us as engineers and whoever we report to. Usually, engineers are often employed in organizations, sometimes self-employed, but most regularly in organizations where we have to report to managers. This can lead to situations of conflict as we, on the one hand, have a responsibility to our organization as employees, but on the other hand, we have a responsibility to the public and their welfare. So, in this pre-talk, we shall discuss three different frameworks which can be used for different situations when dealing with potential tension between engineers and managers. The first one is separatism, which is the notion that scientists and engineers should apply their technical knowledge, our know-how, but other people, whether the managers or organizations, are ultimately responsible for the decisions that are made in that particular case. So an example is in the Challenger disaster, where the engineer Bosch Joly maintained that after raising his concerns that something was wrong, there was nothing else he could do. So he removed himself from the situation by saying, I did what I had to do, I did my job, and therefore it's someone else's responsibility. The second model is that of government by experts, otherwise known as technocracy. In this case, engineers would have the role of technocrats, who on the basis of technological knowledge and insight do what they think is best for the organization and for society. This model is problematic though, due to various reasons. On the one hand, it implies complete competence of the engineers. But it also doesn't take into account conflict of interests, those of potential risk caused by technology, and takes away the right of people to shape their own lives and to make their own decisions. The third model is whistleblowing, which is the disclosure of certain abuses in a company by an employee without the knowledge or consent of their superiors in order to remedy the situation or to warn the public of a potential problem. Although whistleblowing sometimes is required and is known in history that engineers have blown the whistle, it is not a very attractive model for the relations between engineers and managers, and indeed some of these engineers have been fired because of these particular situations. So instead of these three models, the ideal framework naturally would be that of cooperation between engineers and their managers, where they can work together, what the best solution would be, considering the broader implications of engineering and technology. Now, the responsibility of engineers doesn't exist in a bubble outside societal influences though. There are various other stakeholders who are involved in this process, and we have to take into account who they are and what influence they have. So we have various. On the one hand, we have the developers or producers of technology, which include engineering companies, R&D, companies, research and development facilities, laboratories, and even universities. Then we have the users of technology, who can be a very complex group as well, including organizations as well as consumers. And these more and more are part of the design process as co-designers, and therefore a very important group of influencers as well. Regulators like the government and those who deal with health and safety, for example. And we have then a group of other actors or other stakeholders who may have an interest in technological development, such as professional associations and others. As more stakeholders get involved, the causal responsibility, we refer to causal responsibilities in the previous pre-talk, the causal responsibility of the engineer and the foreseeability are reduced. However, the engineers become then responsible of taking into account the stakeholders' interest in the development of their innovations. So this is the end of this second pre-talk. Please refer back to chapter number 1 in your textbook, and thank you.